Alrighty, boys, it is time. So we have the first, well, it's not the first patch, the first significant patch to Biomutant. This is the one that was posted to Steam. It is post-release patch 1.4, indicating obviously there was 3 patches before this, but this one looks like it has a lot of changes and a lot of stuff that was talked about, and I talked about in previous pretty much like dev update videos, right? So let's read through it. Let's see the significant changes, and let's see what was changed. This is my first time looking through it with you guys, so let's do it. All right, so they start off by saying, here's a full changelog for the patch that we just launched. The entire patch will roll out on PC first and then consoles as soon as possible due to the submission process and so on. We'll, of course, give an update when it is launched there, okay? As always, do feel free to come to discuss these changes on the official Discord here. There you go. By the way, this will be linked down below if you want to go check it out and then want to join the Discord as well. Alrighty, so first, PC specifics. It looks like we have some crashes that were fixed with AMD-based CPUs. Cool. We have a crash with a device. Info contains invalid display. Okay, so if you had problems and you had an AMD-based CPU, then those might be fixed. Good to hear. Now, tutorial area. In order to improve the pacing of the early parts of the game, we've edited dialogues to be shorter. Oh, wow, good. That was actually a big problem, and why a lot of people actually quit right away, because the dialogues were a little bit too long, and it took a little bit too long to actually get into the game. And that's actually, if you look on Steam, a lot of the negative reviews are literally of people in the first 2 hours, which is literally the tutorial area. They quit after the first 2 hours and made their review. And, as a person who's gotten out of those, who got out of those first 2 hours, the game is quite enjoyable. I'm not going to lie to you. Is there downfalls? Of course. I've talked about it previously. There is a ton of downfalls. But at the same time, it is an enjoyable game to play. So, kind of like, how can I explain it? It's like, how there's so many downfalls in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but it was still fun to play? Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? I'm not comparing them one-to-one. I'm just saying that sometimes you can play a game with downfalls and still be like, you know what? It's a pretty good game. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm trying to say. So they stated, we've also added more enemies and loot to these areas to better represent the experience later in the game. Cool. A little bit more loot, a little bit more, feeling like, you've accomplished something. Cool. They said added more early enemy encounters, added missing loot and empty trenches outside, Jagni Fortress, added item drop chance for Bunker 101 crates, updated best before memory to decrease the distance between the no-nos and the Pensai tree. Okay, cool. And then just removed a lot of dialogue. Nice. I think that was a big issue. The dialogue, like I said before, really just, like, how can I explain this? It really slowed down the pace. It's like you would be just, it just feels like you play for 2 minutes and then you talk for 5 to 10. You know what I mean? That was kind of a big issue I had. You know what I mean? And sometimes I hated finding new characters because I was like, I'm going to have to talk to this guy for 5 to 10 minutes. And, you know what I mean? So hopefully that was kind of, changed up. Now, dialogue and narrator. This was big. First, they reduced the amount of gibberish spoken before the narrator starts translating. Exactly what I said. Oh my, look, this is good. This is actually good. Because what I stated in my other video, and you can check my other video in my update before this drops, so you guys don't think I'm lying or anything like that. I've stated that it sucks that first we have to listen to the character in game going, and then the narrator starts talking after. So it's like you spend double the time talking to that character. And now what I stated is they should have just made the narrator talk over the gibberish. But it's good to see that this was, maybe this is the better step taken than what I stated what I wanted to be changed. But good. And then they also added dialogue setting toggles for gibberish and narrator, allowing players to select if they want to hear the narrator, the gibberish, or both when talking to NPCs. Huge! Oh my god. Yo, okay. Y'all going crazy back there, huh? Y'all listening. Okay. I like that. So nice. So now you can completely just cancel out the gibberish if you just want to hear the narrator, or just completely cancel out the narrator if you want to not hear the narrator. Good. Then they fixed narration and gibberish playing silently and producing an awkward pause when each corresponding volume setting is set to 0 instead of skipping the sound entirely. Made it faster. You love to see it. And then remove the text delay animation when either gibberish or narration is disabled. Good. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. That was one of the big downfalls. And if this is as good as it sounds, sensational. Great job. I think this is a very good job. I think listen to the community and actually did a good fix. Good. Next, difficulty settings. This is something they talked about. So they added extreme difficulty setting where enemy damage and attack rate is further increased. Cool. If you want a bigger challenge, there it is. And they also fixed a difficulty setting not being applied for already spawned enemies. There you go. Now, New Game Plus. Okay, what is that? Open up all class perks for New Game Plus games. When starting a New Game Plus, the player will now be able to unlock perks from all classes. That's pretty cool. So if you do start a new game, now you can do it from all classes. You don't have to be a specific class. That's pretty cool. Gives you hey, this is look, this is some smart stuff. Because now somebody who might not have played a second game might play a second game just to see where all the perks are actually hitting on, instead of trying to start a new game for each individual character. Now you can really start a new game and test out all those perks. That's smart. I like that. Settings. We have added motion blur slider to the settings. Gross motion blur, ew. But good to see there's a slider for it, so I can turn it completely off. You know what time it is. All joking aside. Okay, good change. Then fixed so the camera setting auto adjust to player also applies for combat. It turned off. The camera will no longer try to frame enemies while in combat. Okay, this is a problem a lot of people had as well. Where sometimes the camera just wouldn't catch the enemy fighting in combat. This was also another big issue, and again, listen to. Good job, devs. Good job. Now we're into items and loot. Increased chances that items have been found have a level requirement closer to the player's actual level when found. Players will still be able to find games with higher level requirements, but the player level is now taken into account. Okay. Okay, good. So now they will be a little bit closer instead of like 10, 15 levels above. But hopefully you can still find those 10 to 15 levels above as well. You still want a nice balance of that. Then they said they removed common item loot drops from high-level loot crates, reduced the amount of healing items that the player will find from crates and defeated enemies. That's a good one. I felt like ever since the beginning of the game, I never really ran out of them. And I feel like it's good when games can, actually run out of them. You know what I mean? I think that's a good gameplay feature as well. I feel like when games just give too much of an abundance and it becomes too easy to just hoard all the healing items, I think it kind of just like gets rid of the whole healing part of the game. But if you make it harder to find, I think it does improve the kind of the gameplay more. It kind of gives more emphasis on that part of the game. Then increase base damage from melee bodies, handles, and add-ons by approximately 5%. Reduce base damage from ranged. Okay, so yeah, another thing that people talked about. They wanted melee to actually be more stronger in a way, but also feel stronger. So we're going to see what they say about that as well. Reduce gear add-on resistance and critical chance bonuses. Okay. Remove slots from all protective suits. Interesting. So all the extra slots, I'm guessing, were like where you can put like shoulder armor and stuff. That's not going to be able to be available for the suits, which I think makes sense. I think it makes sense. Now onto sound. We have updated melee sound effects across the board. Good. This will probably make them feel more like you're actually hitting something. So good. Then they added sound effects for the tribe war trebuchet. That's pretty much the thing of certain sieges. Your character will be launched into the opposing fortress or outpost, whatever you want to call it. So now there's a sound effect for that. We got some mount sound effects as well. And and then the sound when the player gets launched in there by that same trebuchet. Very cool. Okay, we're now moving on to combat. They fixed an issue with abnormally high damage output due to consumable top mod applying meta damage multiple times during equip and unequip. Okay, so there was kind of like a little glitch you could do. And now that it's fixed, we have a lot in combat. Okay, so this looks like a lot of different perk changes. I'm just skimming through it. If you guys want to check out all the, like as you can see, this multiplier went down from 2 to 1.5. Again, if you want to check out all the specifics, I'm going to let you do that. But I just want to see if some of the bigger changes. Oh, here's one. Adjusted valid angles for combat targets to reduce camera movement in combat. That was a big one. Oh, disabled end of combat slow motion camera for short combat scenarios. Nice. So the thing is, pretty much every combat situation you were put in, once you kill the last enemy, regardless if you only fought 2 enemies, it would be like this short, slow motion camera. Now it's only for the bigger fights, which makes sense. Good, good. Again, a lot of these things that were added, they kind of wasted more time than it was needed, but this is good, again, because this wastes less time. And the camera thing, also good, so the camera can actually capture the action and you can actually have a better time seeing the enemies, because sometimes the enemies would attack you from outside of the camera and you would not be able to see it, and it's impossible to dodge because you had no idea what was coming. What else is this? All tribe Sifus and Lupa Lupin will now react stronger to being parried. Also good. It's actually very hard to parry the Sifus or the leaders. That is true. Okay. I'll just keep looking through and seeing if I can find some of the bigger ones. Okay. Adjusted the range for melee attacks to improve enemy tracking and reduce misses. Okay, so there's going to be more hits, and again, it won't feel kind of like you won't know what's exactly happening. Again, good. Okay. Added ability to slide underneath legs of Titan. Pretty cool. So if they're a little bit bigger enemies, you can do that now. Nice. Okay, cool. And we have a lot of, again, minor changes that you can check out if you would like. Now, quests and achievements. Fixed game progress not being able to reach 100%. Okay, so now you can do it with just a single playthrough. Very cool. Then we have some other quests. Then also adjusted tribe workflow to be more robust. Okay, we'll see exactly what they mean by that. Crash fixes. They fix crashes when moving objects between areas using telekinesis. Okay, it was a crash that happened. I'm guessing a lot. User interface. New weapon Wong Fu is only unlocked when the player has crafted a new weapon instead of being unlocked when looting an individual component. Okay, so you have to actually craft it for it to actually become available. Then they added correct fast travel locked message when attempting to fast travel while climbing a ladder or falling. Uh-oh, there goes the exploit. RIP. So now you can't do the whole, jump out of water and quickly press the map key to fast travel. Then they added the Mercenary DLC indicator to the main menu if you want to go get it. They've talked about that as well. Okay. They removed some of the comic book effects to ensure during combat you can see other things. Makes sense. Okay. Remove several area objectives from Suburbia, which are tied to the Moo quest and could cause confusion. Good. I did make recently a tutorial about it because a lot of people are wondering how do I get into the Suburbia Vault and all that. Obviously, all that can be done by actually going to Moog first, so it kind of makes sense. I thought it was already kind of like that, but I'm guessing there were some ways to go past it. Okay. Replaced a couple of NPC tasks that didn't work as intended. Okay, so now they will work as intended. Good to see. Just some minor fixes as well. Now miscellaneous. Disable fast travel and jumping from water. RIP, dog. They're really on top of their game, low key. Like these changes are very good to see. I'm not gonna lie to you. Well, I'm trying to see anything else that's. Fixed infinite jump while using photo mode. Another glitch. Good. Good. Nice. Again, while they were fun to use, it's good to see that the devs were on it like this. Fix some doors opening after using photo mode. Again, another glitch that was used a lot of times. And it was actually used in a lot of tutorials I saw on YouTube as well. That people used to kind of like get inside the door, and then people were, it did in a way confuse people as well. So good to see that it was patched as well. Okay, and that looks like it's about it. Very cool. Look, good job. Actually, good job. The some of the main concerns that were voiced look like they were changed, and that's what I love to see. Obviously, you still have some problems with kind of like repetitiveness and some quests, kind of being too similar to each other. Hopefully, but those are obviously bigger changes that it'll take a lot longer to actually change. But the stuff that you can immediately kind of change with different setting options and all that, like the dialogue and narrator, obviously the glitches and stuff like that. Good to see that it was changed. The new game plus was also a very good addition. I think that's very cool. Yeah, good job. Good job. I think overall it was a very good patch. That's going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys think. And like always, stay safe.